Hello and welcome to Autograzers, a show where three so-called car experts compete to find me the best car for the task I set. Unfortunately for them, I know diddly squitty squit about cars. Today, we are taking part in the Mongol Rally. That's right, we're jumping into an old banger, travelling 10,000 miles and praying to every god, deity and superhero that we won't break down. Our adventurers today are Duncan.
I'm Duncan, and this week I actually did some mechanical work by jump-starting a car.
Wow, that's pretty cool. We also have George.
Hello, I'm George. This week I booked my build slot for a GR Yaris. Apparently deliveries at some point in 2020, if you're lucky. 2021 even.
And I got very confused when you said that earlier, because I was like, oh, I had a Toyota Yaris once, but I looked up, not the same thing. And we also have John.
Hello. I this week took the car out in the snow, then took it out in the rain to try and wash the salt off, and ordered some new front brake pads.
Okay, and I didn't jump-start my car, but I did jump into my car today for the first time in a while, because I was self-isolating, so I drove my car today, which was the exciting thing I did. And this is Autograzers.
Yay!
Cue Kermit the Frog waving
Walking noises
in the air. So, guys, what can you tell me about the Mongol Rally? What do you know about it?
It's a rally to Mongolia.
Incorrect.
Is it to or through?
It used
to
to be to Mongolia, but now
they changed it.
They've changed it slightly now. It
Did
was
the Mongolians
from
get
the UK.
fed up with crappy cars being dumped.
No,
What do you mean? Why would they get upset about a bunch of less than £1,000 cars suddenly getting dumped on their doorstep for no particular reason, and people just flying home and just leaving them there to rust away?
Yeah, because that's certainly when I last looked at it.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Less than £1,000 is what you need to in terms of car. But sorry, George, what were you saying?
Wasn't the original idea try and get some useful vehicles out to Mongolia for the Mongolians, but of course it just turned into this scrap heap derby.
Yeah, so I think the original concept was that so you could either take a cheap car, or you get extra bonuses if you took a fire engine or an ambulance or something. And then people started combining those, so then you ended up with scrap fire engines and ambulances making their way out to Mongolia. And then they changed the rules so it had to be within a certain age range. So it had to be less than like 10 years old or something. Because basically there were too many bangers there were too many Peugeot 106s that had rotten sills and dead engines turning up in Mongolia. There's big piles of them just falling.
But the thing I found hilarious was just that it goes to Russia now, like just north of Mongolia in Ulan-Ude is now the actual finishing point. I think that was for like visa or tax reasons. And yeah, sometimes it starts in the UK, sometimes Prague. Just depends what they feel like. So basically, I think all four of us should go on the Mongol Rally. We'll start from wherever in Europe, and we need a car. So as Duncan pointed out, we need to spend less than £1,000 on it. And what else? It needs to be less than 1.2 litres as well. So less than £1,000, less than 1.2 litres.
Oh, Jesus.
Find me a car.
That has to be a car, yeah?
Well, actually, I think scooters are allowed if they're above.
I was going to say, what about bikes? Yeah.
Yeah, I think bikes can go.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Incorrect number of wheels.
But I don't want to travel to Mongolia on a bike. Thank you very much. It's not something in my life I ever want to do.
In my head, I think all four of us are going, so we can all try and squeeze onto a bike.
1.2.
But
Bagsy not in the back. Bagsy front.
And do you know, like, roughly how many miles traveling it would be?
3,000, 4,000. I have no idea.
I've driven to Romania, and that was a smidge over 700, and that is nowhere near all the way there. What, 1900?
It's actually between 8 to 12,000 miles traveling.
Oh, blimey. I suppose because they don't have a set route, do they? So you can just take whatever route you feel like.
Well, there are kind of like 3 routes you can take. They're like, well, you can take any route. They do kind of say that technically it's racing because it's not so much about who gets there first. It's the journey, like Lord of the Rings. But like some people go north, like mostly through Russia. Some people kind of go through Ukraine a little bit, and some people kind of go south and like through Iran, Asia, that kind of region. So there's kind of
slightly
3
dodgier than it was.
Yeah.
Well, I watched like one video and someone was like, actually, it was the best sort of route to take. Loads of people were friendly, good food. I'll take that route. Looks cool.
Iran's what
Through
no, I like.
Syria.
Turns out Bucharest is 1,700 miles. That's why it took me 4 days. God, I'd suppressed that memory.
Oh yeah, George, we've got to be honest. Like you're the one who's got the most experience, having worked in Romania and literally driven your car back. But you bought sight unseen in the UK.
£1,400 sight unseen from Romania. Flew back, picked it up, and then my fiance drove it across. And I met her in Germany.
So
What was it?
Lexus LS430.
So at least it was moderately comfortable.
Oh, superb.
Like, that for me is the utmost terror because, like, we mess around on this show and we pick stupid cars, but you had to buy a car sight unseen from the UK that your fiance would drive back 1,400 miles to Romania. So you had to pick a car that she'd be happy to drive, not only for like a couple of days, but for 4 days straight of driving.
So it had to be an automatic. That meant it had to be an automatic. I had looked through the usual suspects, and we didn't have a huge amount of money, so it had to be automatic, had to be reasonably big. And basically this was picked because they were cheap, and I couldn't. When you Google Lexus LS430 faults, not a huge amount comes up. So I thought, yes, that will do.
So how long did it take you to drive to Romania, George?
It is.
Or from?
It's about 30 hours of solid driving, and we did it in, I think, 3 days on the way out, and we took a bit of a tour on the way back and went through the Alps and took like 4 days.
I looked at some people's kind of diaries in terms of when they did the Mongol rally, and can you guess like roughly how many days it would take to drive all that way?
52.
Oh,
yeah,
2
pretty much.
weeks?
On average, it's about 50 days from the ones
Whoa.
I've seen. It can be a bit quicker, be a bit slower, depending on your routes and if you do a lot of sightseeing. But yeah, around 50 days-ish. Speaking of which, have you guys found us a suitable car for the journey? Bear in mind, I will be picking the best one, so it's got to be able to withstand all these miles. Or if you go for a charming old banger, I might select that one.
There is an embarrassment of riches on Auto Trader right now in this segment.
I'll be disappointed if someone doesn't produce the rotary option. We have two people
being on 1.2s.
No, it's 1.3.
What rotaries are a 1.2? They're a 1.3, yeah.
Unless you went for RX-7, but I would not want to buy an RX-7 for less than £1,000.
Are they 1.2?
I think because they're not as big a CC, are they? I think they're
sure?
because I think I'm pretty sure an 8's only just over 1.3. It might be the same. I might be absolutely.
I think they're the same because the 13B housings fit on the MSP ones, so the engine.
True.
No, apparently a turbocharged 12A is only 1.1.
Okay,
so you might be onto something there, Doc.
Welcome to Rotary Corner.
All right, Tommy, I don't know what they're talking about either.
You guys know how old the Mongol Rally is?
I'm guessing the Mongol Rally, Tommy, is probably about 15 years old.
Older than that, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it started in 2004.
Oh, come on.
So, yeah, 6, 7, 17. That's maths, right?
Yeah.
17 years old. Quick maths.
Right, what are the extras on this one? I'm just going to have a quick... I'm picking cars based on optional features here.
So, cup holder is a must.
I mean, that's an obvious, isn't it?
I'm noticing for my set search preference, there appears to be one particular car which is overwhelmingly common. Like, I reckon 90% of everything on here.
Just Ford.
It's 2003 to sort of 2007 Vauxhall Corsas.
Yeah.
Loads of them.
If it's less than £1,000, you could choose that one.
They come in a variety of colours. Uh, some of which have
Colours
the
are
Barry
important.
brush applied.
Right. Okay. I've got a sensible choice and stupid choice.
Go with the stupid one. I mean, Mongol Rally,
I've got a
people tend to
sensible one.
choose like really like, even though you can spend up to 1,000, a lot of people opt to spend like £300, because they have to be sponsored by a charity, or like up to £1,000. So if they choose like quite like a really old banger, they tend to raise more money, I think.
Okay. I have my car then.
Okay, let's see it, Duncan.
1 moment. Just want to show it in its best light when I share it to you, that's all. Because I don't think this car has a best light necessarily.
Right. Peugeot. Talk me through this one then, Duncan.
So we have a Peugeot 106 1.1 Zest, the 3-door from 1999. There's like barely any electrics in them. It's pretty much the perfect car if you just want something that you can repair quickly anywhere in the world. If you take some metal and a hammer with you, everything's going to be fine. I like how I'm not sure if that's a speedo or a clock. That's a clock, isn't it? That's a clock.
That's a
I've just
clock.
realised.
I thought you said, I don't know if that's a Speedo or a clock. I'm like, well, Speedos are things you wear, Duncan.
Everybody smugglers. But yeah, I mean, there's no rev counter on this. You don't need one. You've got a massive clock instead. The speedo is in kilometers and miles per hour. They give you within them for some reason. It's only £500, which is extremely cheap. It looks like it's on the wonk, but I'm going to say that is because of the camera photo that's being taken, not the car's suspension. And yeah, it's going to be super easy to look after, and we'll probably be fine all the way to Mongolia.
Wasn't that the exact car that we mentioned earlier, that they were fed up of people turning up and dumping Peugeot 106s in the middle of Mongolia?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Just checking.
There's a reason they all turn up there.
Well, you know, when in Rome.
They all get there in the first place.
Yeah, that's a good sign, actually, that they actually get there to be dumped. And
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people actually end up selling it to Mongolia or for charity, so which is quite nice. Good for the economy. Yeah, I like it. It looks a little cramped, and bearing in mind that it'll be the four of us on a very, very, very long journey. But if it gets
plus George's dog.
Yeah, dog's coming.
Well, she can go in the fifth seat, or we can just take the parcel shelf out and just chuck her in a boot. She'll be happy with that.
To be honest, with that car, we could probably just chop the roof off.
Yeah, exactly. This is the joy of this car, is because it's so cheap and because it's so easy to fix. There's going to be like 9 million things that we could do to it to make it more comfortable, and we've still got 500 quid to spend.
That's the kind of car that when your kids learn to drive, but you're not totally certain their survival is worth it, you buy them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, the crumple zone is kind of here. Just all the car is the crumple zone.
I thought the crumple zone was the people inside.
Yeah, you form a crash protection.
Yeah, you're the crash protection for the rest of the car.
I mean, they weren't noted for safety.
They weren't noted for anything.
It's done 90,000 miles. Is that too many miles for a second-hand car, or is that okay?
I mean, bear in mind, this is 22 years old now, this car. 90,000 miles is barely anything. That's like, 4,000 miles a year, something like that. It is but a spring chicken. There's hundreds of thousands of miles left in that engine.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that one, Duncan. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay, let's hear it, John.
I present to you the 2008 Vauxhall Astra 1.2 Estate. I've gone for an Estate because apparently I like them, because I keep picking them for this show, but in this case it's practical because, four of us plus a dog plus our gear, going to need that boot space. Vauxhall Astra, so it's about as simple as it gets. Duncan's a particular fan of this version of the Astra, I understand, so he will know all of the ways to fix it, which I'm guessing is just string, rope, maybe duct tape, and a large hammer. Yeah.
It's
the
General
MacGyver thing.
General Motors, so they are going to be relatively common parts, I'm going to say. They're going to be Opels. You got Opels. You got a sea of Opels from here all the way to Russia.
Yep. It's done a few miles, proving that it's worthy. It knows how to eat miles on the road.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't sporty. It isn't going to get there particularly quickly. But being a diesel, you should get good MPG, which will only help. Not having to stop as often.
I just say they're so embarrassed of the performance they haven't put the performance in here.
No,
there's no performance.
I do like if you look at this car comes with section, it lists the basic shit that every car comes with.
3-point center rear belt, 3-spoke steering wheel,
4 wheels,
60/40 rear split, ABS,
an engine,
brake lights, air blend heater, and 4-speed fan. So it has heating, air recirculation,
anti-submarining ramps. That does mean we can't go across the water though. Or if we do, we might accidentally cause war with Russia.
And it's got the GM classic, the clock adjusts by itself. Ooh.
Yeah, ODS time clock. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's never worked.
Auxiliary 12-volt power socket. I didn't know many cars came with those back then. But yeah, and it's got body. Its body is body coloured, which is always a good sign.
What's body coloured mean?
But it means that it's one colour, so it's silver instead of like silver and.
I was going to say my body is
grey.
not coloured silver.
Well,
not all of it.
We can fix that.
Give it time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, getting there. Yeah, no, I like it. It looks a bit roomier, which I like. And plenty of room in the boot because we've got to take some bits and bobs. It's done a few more miles than Duncan's Choice.
But it's diesel. It's got double that in it again before it even needs filling up with diesel. Like, let alone starts breaking down.
It's this is my ignorance now because I haven't actually driven anywhere beyond France. Is diesel more as common as petrol when you go further east, or?
Good question.
Trucks use diesel. There's not a single petrol truck, so.
Okay. Good answer.
It's what the haulage industry uses as their standard because it is the simplest of the fuels. You don't even need a spark at a certain point. You just need pressure to make it go bang.
Pressure. Okay, great. Like it. Like that it's roomier. And yeah, it's not a bad looking car. George, what have you chosen?
The car that needs no introduction, the Fiat Panda, in a fetching shade of blue. So the others are. I give the other. They're very worthy. The Astra was incredibly worthy. Good find. Just all a bit dull. If you're going on this epic road trip, Top Gear style, you need something with a bit of charm, a bit something which will work its way under your skin, and you'll be sad to see it go at the end. Whereas the Astra, the 106 will kill you. The Astra, frankly, you'll have forgotten all about it before you get off the plane on the way home.
What's an Astra? I don't remember an Astra. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what Astra? Well, we walked. Exactly. This little chappie, you'll get to the other end, and you'll look at it and thinking, that was fun. I should really bring him home with me. And it even comes with a sunroof.
This is basically the equivalent of like a puppy dog, like where you say, "Oh, I'm just looking after it. I don't love it. We're not going to keep it." It's basically the Beethoven dog from the movie Beethoven.
Exactly.
And you'll fall in love with it in the end. Okay.
And you'll look back at him at the end and go, and you'll be genuinely sad that you're leaving it to rot in a field and pollute the Mongolian countryside. It'll be a real heart wrench.
That would make me sad anyway, but yes, that too.
Speaking of rot, George, have you seen this back seat?
It does look. I think it might have the full moon roof. I can't really tell from the pictures as well. Because let's face it, on none of these is the aircon going to work.
No, I think it does have a full moon roof. But...
yeah, look. So you can admire the scenery through your full moon roof. You get a bit of fresh air and dust coming in. It's got a cheerful blue interior. We've all been extolling the virtues of simplicity. I think the 106 is probably the most basic. The Astra was a turbo diesel. That's never going to get you there. This little fella, nice little petrol, only 44,000 miles. So each owner's only managed 11,000 miles in it before getting sick of it, which is quite impressive.
Or alternatively, it's been 4 grannies who've all died one after the other in mysterious circumstances.
Exactly, and it's that little puppy dog you want to take home. It even comes in a fun colour.
I do love a Panda. A Panda is a lovely car. I've got to be
Everyone
honest.
likes a
They're
Panda.
very cute.
They've not tried to make it anything. It's a box on wheels that they've called a Panda, and that makes it cool.
I really like it. I think it's very quirky, as you say. Like, it may not be as roomy as the Vauxhall Astra that John chose, but I mean, is it? I guess the one thing is that with Duncans and the Astra, the claim was that it was very fixable because the car could break down when we're doing all the thousands of miles.
See, the Astra, that's a fallacy. The Astra's a turbo diesel. You're never fixing that.
Okay.
But
Well,
there
that's
are a
fun.
lot of Opels between here and Mongolia, so you can just buy a new engine and put it in.
I mean, to
but
be
it's
honest,
new
like I ask if it's fixable, but I know I would just pop the bonnet and then go, yeah, that's broken. That's not working.
All the washing, the windscreen wiper fluid. I'm lost.
Yeah, I can't change the windscreen wiper fluid. I've done the windscreen wiper fluid. I don't know what else to do. He explains to the AA man.
Excuse me, sir. Well, why did you call the AA just to top up your windscreen wiper fluid? I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I like it. I like that it's missing a hubcap. That's kind of like a little quirk as well.
Charming, isn't it?
It's a weird thing to like.
Okay, so
I'm
What is
confused
that
by
on the
what's-
window?
Yeah, I'm confused by this.
Is that holding the window up?
I think it might be.
Yeah, everything needs a bit of
Ah,
fettling before you take it.
yeah. Okay, so I like this because it's quirky. I mean, George, actually, before I carry on, is there anything else you want to say about this car?
I take
I'd
the
have-
boring option.
I had
Okay.
a mate who had a couple of these, and they all got written off, which made me never want to own one because
Yeah.
every time they bought one, somebody just crashed into it.
George, you may remember one of our friends from school had one of these, or had his mum's one. I remember distinctly being on a camping holiday, and he was driving and changing music on his iPod, and asked me to change gear for him while he had the clutch down while I was sat in the passenger seat because he was busy changing music.
Oh,
So instead, he
that
wanted me to use a gear stick.
I don't think this should reflect badly on the car if someone's being careless enough to.
Yeah,
That's
use
the kind
that
of owners
iPod.
that buy them.
it was this color as well.
It's not black and white. It should be black and white. I don't understand why they let them come out in any other colour.
This blue is basically white.
I think I've seen enough to make a decision. I really like Duncan's Peugeot 106 Zest. I think it was nice that, he said it was very fixable. He said that, it can do the miles and it's red. So it's got a bit of quirkiness to it. My concern was it looked a little bit not so roomy, but it looks like it would do the job. And a lot of cars like this get there. So a lot of the Peugeots actually make it through the Mongol Rally. John's Vauxhall Astra 1.2 estate looked roomier, but it is a little bit bland because a lot of people go for pizzazz when they choose their old bangers. This
These
looks
are the
like
10 quid on spray paint.
well,
That's true. We can stop at
true.
Halfords on the way.
it does
Neon green paint and just coat the whole thing.
Yeah, I like that it's roomier, and that's the maximum power we can do. And yeah, we could go ham with the spray paint on it. But I think George's Fiat Panda is cute. It seems to be a bit of a compromise on space. Again, it's not as roomy as the Vauxhall. But I think it's just that little bit cuter. I would like to go on uncharted territory. If I know that the Peugeot 106 has made it, I want to test out the Panda because I like the element of danger, which I think the Mongol Rally is all about. So I'm going to have to go with George's Fiat Panda.
It's Panda Boy.
I'd be happy
The
to take
Panda
that Panda. I'd be happy to take that Panda.
It's cute. Well done, George. You win our first round, which is called Crack the Whip. you win my eternal respect.
Oh,
So there you
best
go.
prize yet.
So we're taking that car now. Whenever you guys slug off cars, I don't know. Like I don't know about cars. So the one thing I want to do, just in case we go to the shop and the Panda's not available, I would like to know what car definitely not to take on the Mongol Rally. I would like to know what your worst car is in terms of miles, reliability, and just general whether it's good to drive that many miles in essentially the space of 2 months. So I want you to select the worst car, and whoever is more convincing or convinces me that, yeah, you definitely don't want this car, will win. Again, my eternal gratitude and respect. So find me the worst car to travel from Europe to Russia/Mongolia, and I will go by whoever is more convincing.
Is there a price limit or just?
There isn't a price limit. It's our bottom of the bucket round. So, you know, obviously, I guess the price limit is £1,000 because if, you know, I go to the shop and the Panda's not there, but there's this so and such, it's still got to be less than 1.2 litres. It still has to be less than £1,000. But what car should we definitely not take on this journey? I'm guessing you guys are going to go by reputation.
Personal experience.
Personal experience, definitely. I think is that the angle you're going at, Duncan?
Well, I was going to pick a Hummer because there's one thing that you're definitely going to get shot at in going through all that distance. It was going to be a Hummer, but that £1,000 limit, that's going to restrict my Hummer selections quite a lot. So I'm going to have to go with something else.
I don't know about cars, so if I just saw a Hummer, I'd be like, yeah, humding. Let's get that one. That's my catchphrase that I say all the time.
Oh yeah, it is. You do say that all the time.
You can't stop me from saying it.
I know. I wish I could, but unfortunately, you're too far away.
Yeah, you can't stop me. Not from here.
This is a hard one because look, horribly complicated stuff. The small engine rules that out. I've got a whole range of larger things which you just would rule out on ground.
Yeah, I was thinking of like BMW, like big V numbered engines. You know, because you've got all that horrible Vanos system and everything.
Actually. No, they're pretty solid.
Yeah, but they've got Vanos on them, George. That just means unreliability. Or you've got to take it to a specific garage.
Oh, Vanos is easy fix. I've done Vanos on 3 of them now. It's easy.
Bloody.
So it's 2 older ones. It's 4 rubber O-rings that you can change over in about 2 hours.
While being shot at?
Oh yeah, it never stops the engine running. It just means it goes a bit slower.
Yeah. Do we explain that to the border guards? This is why we've got some rubber things in our car. It's not Russian border guards. It's definitely not for us 4 blokes in a car. It's for the car itself because we know it's going to blow an O-ring.
If it was BMWs, it would be anything turbo diesel. But any of the 2-litre turbo diesels, just no.
While you guys are looking, can I ask you a question? Because a lot of the things I came across when looking up the Mongol Rally is a lot of people say they had to bribe like border patrol or officials or policemen when they were going. Would you bribe a police person? How much would you bribe them?
Yeah, I think it depends what part of the world you're in, really, doesn't it? Because I think
of it less like
just
bribing and more
red.
like that they don't actually get paid. That's how they get paid.
Yeah.
It's what's it? It's like tips.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
a visa. You're just paying for your visa. This one man who's holding a gun to your head.
How much would you bribe? How much would you willingly tip?
I don't know. Like if a guy's got a gun to my head, £1,000 easily.
I would leave whatever's in my wallet, right?
Yeah.
I would pretend I was like a really stupid tourist, and I'll be tempted to just bribe them like the equivalent of like $1 at a time. I'd be like, well, maybe my friend George Washington has something to say about this. Like tuck it in their shoulder and like slap them on the face, like, yeah. And they go, oh, he's just a stupid tourist. Just let him go.
I had a friend, I think it was in Thailand, they all got pulled over on their rental motorbikes. And he flatly refused to pay the bribe. And in the end, he eventually, all his friends just paid it because the police were just harvesting money from tourists. And in the end, he had his bike confiscated, his keys taken off. And it was only then that he eventually gave up. And he was pretty much being marched off to the police cell on an invented charge. And eventually he got over himself and paid. It was equivalent of about £5 as well.
Yeah, it like
just don't go there. Don't go there. Just pay.
I can see the principle of it, but yeah.
if you could spend it on a coffee, it's just not worth arguing about, is it? Okay, I found my car. I think I had a contender, but I think it's ruled out.
Find some quite undesirable things.
I've
I'm amazed what you can get
some hideous things.
for under £1,000. There's quite a lot of choice, actually.
I know. This is what I was saying earlier. There's some rich pickings now.
Some really rich picking.
Is there?
So Duncan, shall we see your choice while the others are finding theirs?
Bam. I really hope I ruined someone's day by picking this.
Oh,
beautiful. So I present the Smart for 2, 0.6 litre automatic. So it is a
for God's sake, Duncan.
horrific green, like baby vomit green. I did say I hope I ruined someone's day. It's a horrific baby vomit green Smart. And you know what's more amazing? Is the fact that there's another one in the background of this photo. So this person owns 2 of these.
Wow.
So this is from 2001. It has done 31,500 miles. So in 20 years, this person's only managed to put just over less than 1,500 miles on it every year, which just shows how awful these things are. They are fine in city. However, when you're doing a 2,000-mile road trip, or 8,000 or 12,000-mile road trip, they are not what you want. They can barely do highway speeds. They topple over at the slightest gust of wind or aggressive corner. They've got 2 seats. So immediately 2 people are either going to have to fit in the boot or we're going to have to put seats on the roof. I think the dog's going to have to go in the boot, isn't she? And yeah, I just can't think of any worse car to do the Mongol Rally in than this.
I think that's a good choice that you've gone for a city car, because it totally makes sense to me, a non-car enthusiast that, don't have a city car for a long-haul journey. I don't think if we went to the shop, I would be as tempted to get this one instead of the Fiat Panda, because it only has 2 seats, unless we got very snugly on our trip up to Mongolia.
Well, you start rolling the dice as to who sits on whose lap.
Yeah. That's it. Shotgun to sit on the top of someone's lap.
Yeah, I do think lawn chairs on the roof might be an idea. You could get those reclining ones, like sun lounges, and just put them on the roof.
I like the wind in my face when I'm driving. So yeah, Bagsy. I think that's a good choice. It makes sense. I quite like that one. How are you, George and John, doing for your choices?
I'm torn because I can think of many good reasons for taking most of these. Actually, this is against the rules, but if I had to pick something I'd be least confident of getting there, it'd actually be that very small turbo diesel that John found.
All right.
Because normally the joys of these little 1.2 litre cars is they're normally there's not really much to go wrong.
Yeah, there's very little to actually physically break.
They come in kind of various amounts of desirability.
Speaking of desirability, George, look at your lovely Skoda.
God, isn't it just? So what I have picked for everyone else's benefit, I have found a rather fetching Skoda Fabia, 2006 Skoda Fabia 1.2 HTP, which amusingly stands for high torque power. 12-valve ambience. Now, I'm not... Are they 12-valve? I'm not sure they are, because I think these are 3-cylinder.
Might have 4 valves per cylinder. I mean,
maybe that's a high. Oh, maybe that's a high-powered one then.
Oh,
what? Wait, valves, cylinder. Is this all engine stuff?
Yes.
Oh, it is.
Well done, Tommy.
Yay!
It is.
Oh.
So it means more cylinders means more revs or something.
More power generally.
More power. Okay.
More cylinders make more bang bang.
More bang.
Do we want bang bang? Bang bang's bad.
Bang bang make power. Power good.
If my car bang bang, I think bad.
I didn't read it properly. I assume this was a 54 horsepower one, not the 64 horsepower one. Let's assume
you're stuck now, George.
I am stuck now.
So
I'm
far,
really
George,
struggling.
you've told me this is the worst car because it's very powerful.
I'm not going to say that it's not very powerful because we're 0 to 60, 16 seconds, and it can't make 100 miles an hour.
I'm not going to lie. I'm doing a
Okay.
terrible job. I'm doing a terrible job of this one. I'd rather take it than Duncan's smart. But in its other side, the only thing I can really say is once you've spent more than about 45 minutes in the chairs in one of these, you just want to get out. If I really had to pick something that I don't think would be a truly dreadful idea, I'm going to have to back Duncan. I'm going to have to throw him a towel here and back Duncan on the smart car. The rest of these, I think I should.
No, what I will say, George, about this car is that these seats are, when you get garden furniture, wooden garden furniture, and it has those like cushions that come with it, and they barely keep your arse away from the wood. And after about 10 minutes of sitting on it, that's what it like. You just sit on wood. Like there's just no difference between having a cushion there. That's what these seats feel like after a decent amount of time.
Okay.
I
mean, George, you could have told me anything about this car, and I would have probably believed you.
Actually, the more I look at it, the more it actually looks like quite a clean, straight example with some quite clean interior. It looks an all right buy.
It's not expensive. It's pretty solid. Yeah, it's got a decent fuel mileage. George, you've chosen a good car. Stop doing that.
But
should have picked a BMW or something.
It's uncomfortable, which makes a lot of difference. Given that I might be in this car for 50 days straight.
You chose a Fiat Panda for the one you would take.
He's got a point.
Are they uncomfortable?
Just as uncomfortable.
I'll bring a cushion.
Is it less comfortable than sitting on the roof of a smart car?
I'd rather sit on the roof of the smart car, I think.
I'll tell you what is uncomfortable, sitting on someone's lap, which would have to do in Duncan's choice so far.
I was just thinking, which is worse, right? Being the person who's being sat on, or being the person who's sitting on someone else? Because you're uncomfortable either way.
Yeah.
But I don't know which is the lesser of the two evils.
I will say, if you're sat on me, the boniness of my legs is just going to make your life a living hell. So
yeah, but the fatness of me might make up for that.
If I want to have a nap, it might be like quite comforting to have something like slightly smothering me.
A weighted pillow.
Yeah, a weighted blanket. People pay a lot of money for weighted blankets.
Yeah, I think I prefer to sit on someone's lap. I think I'm not like the tallest person in the world, so it'd just be like having like quite a big child on your lap. So I would always Bagsy sitting on someone's lap. You know the kid who goes to Santa. Oh, I'm a bit old to be doing this, little boy.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, what of it? I want to play.
Then you let Santa off your lap.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I put George out of his misery. Let's move on to John, shall we?
I've done terribly. I'm just going to quietly retire there.
Yeah. Oh, John.
Wow.
You won the first round.
Oh, John.
Yep.
All right, fair play.
That's the only picture of it. So here we have the 2003 Vauxhall Corsa that has been owned by Yobbos, which means the suspension doesn't work. It won't drive in a straight line. I think it used to be red, based on what I can see from the rear view mirror and the rear window. So it's got a terrible paint job. I don't know what's going on with the wheel. It looks like a UFO is trying to take it away in the second picture. Like,
he's painted the drum brakes.
Yeah, he's painted the drum red to make it look sportier because it isn't. And he's bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lug nut wheels. Like I don't even know what they are.
They're universal fit alloy wheels.
Oh, so yeah. So high quality when you hear
universal. Yes.
He has got an OSHA badge in the window though, and an SRI.
And an SRI, yeah. He's
neither of which are actually.
Yeah,
what this car is.
Glued shit to it. All over. There's random cheese graters on the front for some reason.
In case you want some grated cheese on the
grated cheese on the way. Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, it's got a new engine and clutch, I believe, which only goes to show how terribly it's been looked after. Remote control locking, which I really don't believe would work. And probably if it does work, it's the best because everything inside will be sticky with something that you will never want to find out what it truly is.
Or stolen.
Illegal tint.
Well, probably both. It's had 5+ owners, which is always a classic sign of a car being a well-used and reliable car, because that's why so many of them got rid of it as fast as they physically could.
I mean, there's two schools of thought. There's a school of thought of that, and then there's the other one. Think of it as at 6 honeymoon periods with new owners. Unfortunately, if this has had 6 honeymoon periods with new owners, they've each just done something less tasteful than the first.
Hmm.
They all probably tried to have their honeymoon in it, which is what the sticky stuff is.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, I can imagine.
Has it got? I like it's got the reverse louvers on the bonnet to like scoop the air in.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I'm pretty sure that front bumper isn't stock either.
No.
That's got something.
It's
Yeah,
got
there's
a
a
nice eBay
reason.
skirt as well.
Yeah, there's a reason you can't see the front of wax. They're bits that will get ripped off at the first sign of a slight bump in the road. So by the time you've left Birmingham, you've missed left half the car behind. Yeah, I don't think that would make it past. I don't think that would make it to the ferry, let alone make it to Mongolia.
So are these cars notorious for breaking down, or like why would this specifically be bad for a long trip?
They're notorious for youngsters buying them who have no idea what they're doing and no money, but wanting to take things apart, put them back together and make them look cooler, which means
Damaged goods.
that they're fucked. Like, if this was a one owner from an old lady, it'd probably be pretty good, right? Because she's probably had it serviced properly all of its life. This thing has been abused by yobbos.
Okay, I think I've seen enough to make a decision. So this Vauxhall Corsa, I get the idea that it's had 6 owners. It looks like it's been heavily tampered by kind of cowboys or amateur car enthusiasts. So, you know, chances are things aren't going to work properly. And if you try and fix it, you're probably going to come into more problems than solutions. So, yeah, okay, the Vauxhall Corsa may not be good. It may already be quite worn. It's done 100,000 miles as well. The Skoda Fabia, we've decided, is actually quite a good car, but for the wrong reasons. But it is uncomfortable, like very uncomfortable. But I think our runaway winner for the bottom of the bucket challenge is Duncan's car, which is the Smart 42 2001Y Reg car. Yeah, it's a city car. It's not meant for long journeys. It makes perfect sense why we would definitely not go for this one. So well done, Duncan. You have won the bottom of the bucket challenge.
Thank you. I'm terrible at choosing, or I'm great at choosing terrible cars.
Exactly. That is a life skill that most of us desire.
Yeah.
That was my first choice. I had to go back and find that Corsa because I was like, oh, thanks, Duncan.
Ah, right.
I thought someone else might have chosen out, so I got in first.
Yeah.
I had 3 of them lined up. I was trying to figure out which was the worst.
Right. So now we've got our car, which is the Panda. We definitely know which car we don't want to take on the Mongol Rally. Now, a tradition for the Mongol Rally is that a lot of people will kind of decorate their car or add a feature to it. So, you know, it kind of gets people supporting it for charity and everything. So one person one year put a British red telephone box on the very top of the car and drove it all the way. And what else? Somebody also like attached loads of toothbrushes to their car. So for our final round, the eBay Spectaculaire, spend no more than £100 on something to decorate your car with that makes it stand out. Any questions?
Right.
No.
I feel
Good.
John's already got the tone on this.
I mean, John always wins the eBay round.
I've already found something that I think is near perfect.
If it's near perfect, do you want to go with it, or do you want to have one little look for perfection itself?
I thought I found actual perfection then, but it was £500, which was disappointing.
Yeah, I'd say if we're going to spend...
No, it's a strange picture.
Found it.
You found it, Dunk?
I found it.
Do you want to go first, or John, do you want to go first? Because you sort of called it.
I'm happy to go first, but if Duncan wants, he can.
Oh, so
No,
sporting.
I've gone first twice in a row. So John I'm quite happy to let you go.
Good show.
I don't know why this is my first thought.
So I just gave you a golf clap because so much sportsmanship here. It's sickening.
I present to you the giant black shark killer whale plush simulation animal toy stuffed. 51 inches long.
It's a big boy.
Okay.
I don't know why, but having that strapped to the roof of your car is going to get attention. People are going to be questioning why there's a giant killer whale in the middle of Mongolia.
I mean, I like
I'm
your
pretty
thinking.
sure that's not where they live. Plus, we can use it as a pillow in the evenings.
I'd have a dinosaur.
Ah.
We can all share
Yeah, I
that.
just saw that dinosaur. I'm a bit gutted I didn't see that because that would look amazing stood up as well. Yeah,
I like it. I like the practical aspect that we could use it as a pillow.
I think considering it's both longer and taller than that smart car as well, it would be particularly perfect on there. In fact, you might be able to wrap it around that smart car, only therefore adding to the amazingness of this as a purchase.
What's also good is that if we get stopped, we can say, "Sorry, officer, can't stop. There's a whale that's found itself around our car. We need to get it to SeaWorld quickly."
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
Eyes of a
Do you
killer.
think it'll get wet when it rains, though?
It's a whale.
Oh yeah,
now, I'll tell you what we can do, Tommy.
They come wet.
they're all
Let's
they
get
should
wet.
be wet. If they're not wet, that's when you need to start asking questions. Yeah, I like it.
There you go.
It's good. It's a good choice. It will definitely attract attention. It's practical, and yeah, if it's not wet, I'll be
I
asking
wouldn't
for my
say-
money back.
I wouldn't say it's practical.
Just squelch your head on the pillow at night. Great. Who wants to go next?
Well, I mean, mine's ready to go.
Okay, let's see it, Dunk.
Bam.
Oh,
How do you
wow.
power that?
Wacky waving arm flailing tube man.
Keep Jenny running the whole time.
Yeah. Well, no. This comes with a fan. Look, there's a fan at the bottom. You just keep it going.
Does it come with the fan for real?
Yeah, I imagine so. I can't see why not. Even if it doesn't, all we have to do is just direct some air into it, so we could just crack a window open and have it out the sunroof or something. So yeah,
The
wacky
poor
waving thing.
driver behind us is going to be well chuffed with that one.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a 20-foot inflatable sky puppet, dance advertising tube air flying windman wavy. So we can have it in blue, red, or green. So which would you prefer, Tommy? Would you prefer blue, red, or green?
Blue. No, blue would blend in with the sky. Let's go red.
Red,
Make it
okay,
as
so-
loud as possible.
And we can have two of them for less than £100. So we can have one out of each rear window.
One on the back of the car and one on the front of the car. We just
Yeah.
have to
Well,
like,
maybe the front of the
bob our
car.
head
Yeah, the
to
front of the
one
car might
side.
be slightly conducive to crashing, but never mind. But yeah,
That'd be
so
fine.
massive wavy flailing arm man. Just tape. All you have to do is have the front windows open ever so slightly. Tape this over the opening, and then just have it coming out of the sunroof, and we're all good to go.
That's true.
Yeah.
Actually, we don't need a fan because when we're driving, the wind can rush
Precisely.
up it.
Yep.
Great. I think that's really good. I also like that we could probably put sunglasses on it or put some clothes on it. Really go to town with customizing our flying tube man or tubeman,
so.
as he's called.
Tubeman. He will be called Stephen Tubeman.
Yes. Or no, it can be a girl. We could call it Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman and Steve Tubeman are two
Yeah.
flailing
Our two-
arm men
Yep. I love it.
flailing on people.
George, what have you chosen?
I know it's £20 over budget.
Are you going to put this £20 in extra yourself, George?
Exactly.
Yeah. Lock in.
So let me explain. We have selected some quite small cars to go a very long way.
Mm.
A roof box would be sensible, but roof boxes are quite expensive.
That's a good point.
So I present to you the veneered oak roof box.
How is
Sorry.
it a real coffin and a prop coffin at the same time?
I mean,
Well, maybe-
surely it just depends on whether there's a dead body in there or a fake dead body in there.
I've
It's
got some
this is
Sunderland, so you won't be sure.
Yeah.
Sorry.
but but what a versatile roof box. If you need a nap, if someone needs a nap when you're driving, well, you know you're fit. You need to store some stuff, like I said, a roof box. Maybe if you get superstitious locals and you want your valuables protected, or just put some flowers on the top of it and no one's going in it.
Again, I love the practical aspects of it, George. It's slightly, it's a bit of a bad omen leaving for a dangerous rally.
Weren't Luke
with a
and
coffin
John
on them.
both prophets as well? Yeah, so the seller, Luke John.
Luke John.
And, you know, if the very worst happens and you need to repatriate your mates, well, you're prepared for anything. And if we paint it some nice colours.
Well, you could do more than one. Just, top and tail.
Yeah, just vertically. I mean, they won't complain. It's the thought that counts.
I think even though
if you paint,
oh, sorry.
paint some flowers on it, it needs to be decorative.
That's just what I was going to say. Like we can decorate it, spray paint, stickers. We can really make it quite loud. I'm thinking, is it called Day of the Dead in Mexico? Like kind of decorate it. Skulls. Yeah, decorate it like that. It'd be really cool. No, I love it. I think it's a really good idea. So we have a whale that we can put on the car. We have the tube man, and we also have the coffin, which is not ominous at all. Nope. Don't even think that it is for a dangerous 10,000 mile journey.
Would any rival race teams cross you if you had an empty coffin on the roof of your car, just in case?
Actually, you wouldn't get pulled over if you had a coffin on the car. If we all just dressed in black and looked very somber.
We'll just pretend we're funeral director passing through.
Yeah.
But the question is, out of the four of us, who would be the most likely to end up in said coffin?
I don't think I'd fit.
It's almost certainly me.
Don't be so harsh on yourself.
I mean, given that I'm the one person who would try and bribe a border official with a $1, I'll probably be the first to go in that coffin.
I was going to say whether he's asking, he's like, passport, please, and you just give him $1. He's like,
I think this'll do.
Yeah.
or just imagine rolling up the border post and having someone in it knocking as you arrive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get a move on? Because this guy's very impatient.
Yeah. Whoa.
I'll miss my reservation.
As much as
we need to get that spooky ghost outfit from last week as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That homemade kids spooky ghost. I had so many recommendations for that this week, telling me it's ending soon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot that you're going to have recommendations on your accounts after this.
Yeah.
I wonder who's coming off worse. Yeah, so out of Whale, Harriet Tubman and what was the other one? The coffin. That's what we're naming it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Duncan's choice again.
Yes.
I think it'd just be so outlandish and it'll attract so much attention, and we'll have to drive fast to get it to work properly.
Yeah.
With the wind. I think it's hilarious, and just having two of them.
40 foot of inflatable arm man just flapping around in the breeze. Yeah.
I think it's great. So that's what we're going to put on our Panda to make it look fit for purpose. So,
fit for pulling over.
We'll definitely get pulled over if we have.
But if we're going to get pulled over anyway.
I don't know if it comes with the fan.
I don't know. Let's have a quick look at the description, shall we?
What the hell have you been searching for?
A brand new
magnetic vehicle brake light.
This is
Bin
private
face,
mode.
Body cleansing brush. Yeah, of course it is.
This is just other stuff that they're selling. Brand new. Doesn't say anything other than that. The material is Oxford non-rip nylon fabric. I don't know what that is.
On that note, I just want to thank you guys for taking part and choosing our car and accessories for our Mongol rally. Best of luck to us. Hopefully we will make it all the way there. And thanks everyone for listening. And until next time, see ya. Bye.
Bye. Have a wonderful time in Mongolia.
2020.
Yeah.
The year that just kept gaving, giving. I can't speak today.
Goving.
Kept Michael Goving. Oh, now really?
Gotta keep on going. Bam.
Oh yeah, let me just have a sip of water.